Yo, welcome back. Today I will be showing you quick maths in Python. So Python has a lot of built-in math, I guess. It gives you a lot of features for you to mess with. So let's quickly go over that. Let's have a list real quick. Let's just make it 1, 4, 3, 2, 5, right? This list, very simple, 5 digits out of order. How do we find the maximum value? Very simply, you just need to put max L and it'll give you the maximum value. If you want, you can do min L and that'll give you the minimum value, which in this case would be 1. It doesn't matter what order it's in, it'll just give you the maximum and minimum value, which is why it's so powerful. And this is not just limited to lists. If you want to use this on a tuple, you can as well. It'll give you the same thing. So now you know how to use max and min in Python. Now let's move on to the next thing. The next thing is absolute. So for absolute in mathematics, it is effectively when the graph gets reflected across the x-axis. So what does that mean? That just means if it's negative, turn it to positive, and if it is positive, leave it as it is. So let's look at this real quick. What kind of example can be used? Let's say we have a negative number, like neg, and this negative number is minus 9.81. Now, if I do ABS, absolute neg, it will give you 9.81. It removes the negative. And if it is positive already, it doesn't change anything to it. This is a very nice way to iron out data without you having to do anything interesting. Now, for the final built-in function, you have pow. Pow is effectively power. So if I take, for example, 2 pow 5, and I print it, you get 32, because that's 2 to the power of 5. And you can do this for all sorts of values. You can, let's say you do 2 to the power of 100, you'll get this giant, massive behemoth of a number that I personally don't really know how to count and can't be bothered to either. So that is basically how you can look at math that's built into Python. So what about math that's not built into Python? Using the import math module. Well, if you import math real quick, you will get access to a lot of other features that you wouldn't normally be able to access. Firstly, square root. Let's say you wanted to square root a certain value. If I do math.square root, I can basically square root any value I want, and it'll give you a float as the result. Now, what if I take a non-square square number? It'll give you a large decimal as the result. I believe this is a double. So yeah, you can square root in any way that you want using math.square root. And remember, if you put import math as m, then you can just kind of shorten it over here by doing this, and everything should work fine as well. Now, other interesting things you can do, for example, if I store this as a value called x, other interesting things you can do are ceiling and floor. Let's say I want to find the ceiling of x. I can do math.ceil x. Now, if you notice, x was 9 point something, and ceil brings it up to the higher limit, I guess, the higher integer limit of what is there. So if it's a decimal between 9 and 10, like in this case of x, then it'll be brought to 10. It's the upper limit. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. And on the contrary, if you floor it, you get the lower limit, which is 9. So just remember, this is a very, I guess, easy way to do it, and it's safer than floor division because of certain things that Python uses to calculate that, but don't worry about that for now. So that's something. Then you get special numbers as well. For example, math.pi, very interesting. And you also get infinity, I believe. Oh, you don't. Okay, never mind. Let me just go and clarify this real quick. Oh, I think it's just because it's capital. Oh yeah, it's because it's capital. Math.inf is, well, technically it's a way to represent an infinite integer, but I don't think we're really gonna have to learn this one. It's just something that's useful to know. Yeah, that's kind of the basics of what you'll have to, I guess, understand for math. There are a lot of other functions you can look at, like in the math module. Let me just pull up a quick list so that it's easy for you to see. Python math module. If I do this, pulling it up real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can look at. So for example, you can look at number theory stuff, factorials, a lot of really odd and interesting things here. Then there's a lot of floating point arithmetic, like truncation, for example. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. And yeah, a lot of it is to do with floats, to be honest. There's logs if you need to do like logarithm stuff. Wow, I didn't even know there was this. Yeah, summation, product functions, angular conversion. And oh yes, trigonometric functions. You can calculate all of these. and you have your special numbers, not a number, infinity, tau, e, and pi. Yeah, there's a lot of, there's GCD, LCM, and there are checkers, for example, to see if something is square root, etc. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can kind of do with math module. You'll be using it quite a lot, and importantly, you just need to know that if all else fails, you can check it out over here. Go read the stuff over here. It gives you everything you need. It teaches you how to kind of use it. That's about it. Okay. Bye. See ya.